Yeah, good to see all of you. What we got?
Coach, this may be a stupid question, so bear with me.
No such thing.
No, this was maybe dumb. We know your attention is 100% on the Falcons, but with a short week and having to go to Buffalo, is somebody in the organization starting to cut up film so you can get out of Sunday night?
Yeah, definitely the young guys. So, the guys who are doing our film breakdown, just some of the prep stuff so that we can walk in Monday, and some of the guys are going to work a little bit Sunday night, just so we're all ready to go. We don't have the luxury of that full Monday, so the guys have been grinding. I remember being in that role, the challenge is get that work done, and then when Saturday comes, okay, now what coverages are we looking at again today? Because I rely on those guys upstairs for a lot of information. So being able to do that but flush it out, and of course, for me and the rest of the staff, we're just focused on this week.
It's easy to say, if you hit a couple of those deep shots,
yeah,
the ball's not batted down, those are plays you dial up. It's a different outcome, or at least a different day, right?
Yeah.
But that didn't happen. So you ended up with 6 points.
Yeah. And
you're 18 points a game, and you're still not running the football. So where do you kind of see this group at right now with what you're trying to execute?
Yeah, all fair things, right? So, again, we get to the red zone twice. We got to come up with touchdowns some way, somehow. We had the OPI on the 3rd and 1 with a potential run there, but it's too good to pass up a one-on-one opportunity to Mike Evans, in that situation. So I loved where Baker went with that. A lot of people can go two ways with it on a 3rd and 1. But, geez, most of the time they're helping with a safety over there and a corner. We got to be able to take advantage of those opportunities, and we didn't on that one. And so, yeah, I think just in general, you guys asked me week to week kind of grade our offense, and I would say we're still, out of 10, we're still in that 6.5 to 7 in terms of our just fundamental play and execution. And I include myself in that too, just being able to adjust in the run game while they're giving us these different pressures and fronts, what is the best thing to go to in those situations. So that's where I can get better. And, of course, all of us across the board just really need to continue to improve. But, we have good variety in what we're doing. That puts a strain on our guys. That puts a strain on us as coaches. It puts a strain on our guys. What are we preparing for? We're preparing to win the division. So as you come down the stretch, a defense can't just line up and say, guys, it's this run and that run. That's it. And I think that we're preparing ourselves and building an offense that's not going to allow defenses to just say, hey, just take this away, and they got nothing. So we're really working towards that.
But at some point, just to follow up, don't you have to kind of streamline a few things? Do you figure out what runs are best or how you can get production? Can you have too many good ideas?
I think so. So for me, the challenge is this. If you oversimplify, right, it makes it easy for the defense to stop what you're doing. That may lead to success on a couple of plays, but I think that in the pass game and the run game, if we put the strain on ourselves now, early in the season, by the time we hit midseason and as we go, right, the guys get familiar and accustomed to having all the different variety, having the different types of runs, the different types of passes, the fly motions, the shifts, the different things that we're working on. That does take time. And so it's kind of like I don't want to sacrifice the where we're heading for right now. Now, at the same time, we got to find a way to make yards. We got to find a way to make first downs and continue to have success while we're figuring that stuff out. So that task does fall squarely on my shoulders and the staff really helping me to put together a good versatile attack.
Dave, in the recent past, you referred to your run blocking as adequate, okay, I think were the terms you used. There have been some runs, not many, there have been some runs where there's daylight.
Right.
And for whatever reason, the running back's not choosing to take that daylight.
Right.
Is that a vision thing? Is that a discipline thing? What could you put your finger on there?
It really goes back to what we talked about. It's the variety. So that does put a strain on the backs in terms of what's my course, where am I pressing it, where's this block happening, where's this combo happening. And so as they become more accustomed to those things, you'll see faster and more aggressive play out of those guys. And so, really it's just, again, giving them those opportunities in practice, being able to get those called in the game. We were bad on 3rd down. If we convert a few more 3rd downs, we get a few more opportunities to get those game reps of runs, whatever the style of run it might be. we just got to be able to execute on third down so we can continue to be out there and learn the system.
You're talking about game reps and all that.
Yeah.
And is it so hard in modern day NFL to really take a bad running team like the Buccaneers were last year and make them good? You guys don't really go live that much in training camp. You're not in full pads now.
Right.
Is the only chance to really get 100% physicality and get everybody in sync on Sundays?
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's where, using your imagination and visualizing is one thing, right, in our practices. And I got to give our scout team defense credit. I mean, that's a good front we're going up against. That's a good group of DBs. And we're on, when we go to practice, we're telling them to go to full speed. Obviously, nothing's going to the ground. But, yeah, to answer your question shortly, the game reps are premium. So just making those first downs, staying on the field, that's where we grow. And in the process, finding ways to, whatever it is, right? You've seen a little bit of nuanced plays and some things like our play action passes have been fantastic. So as our run game develops, we're building good actions off of those formations. So it's not that we're predictable at all. The play passes are working and the runs will complement it as well. So I kind of think of all those things together as we're developing it.
It seems like Mike Evans has had uncharacteristic number of drops. Are those concerning at all for you? What would you attribute those to?
No, I mean, for me, you guys have been around him. Like, this is the best receiver I've ever been around. And so as Mike continues to work through whatever those things are, I can't imagine, like, he's gonna figure out a way, to get through that. But, you can't talk about a few drops without the fantastic plays that he's made, and you're probably going to see us test out that, his leg and stamina on that first play where we got it tipped and it turned into an interception. He's going to have to see if he can go 90 yards and not get caught there. But we're going to continue to feature Mike. He's going to be number one in progression a lot of the times, just the way we've been building it, and we'll live with those plays.
Dave, I realize everybody's going to play better, right? That's probably what you're going to say.
Yeah.
But specifically, the tight end position, it's so young. It's the youngest in the league. It might be the least productive in terms of catches, yards, et cetera. And are you guys getting enough from that unit in the passing game and also in the running game?
Yeah, I believe so. I think, again, you answered it already. It's not just one group. It's all of us. It's the coaches included. As we grow in this offense, then we'll be able to see, more production. And again, when the tight ends get targeted, typically you got Chris and Mike out there, and the tight end is going to be a complement to, a rolled coverage or something where they're paying a lot of attention on those guys. That's where the tight ends start to come available. But, I really love the group. I love just how smart they are. They work tirelessly. John Van Dam does a great job with them. So I think the whole group will elevate as we continue to grow.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about motion, particularly at snap motion, because it's kind of becoming a phenomenon in the league so far. The Dolphins, the 49ers are using it. I just wanted to know your opinion as an offensive mind on that sort of thing, and maybe if we could see it in the future being implemented into this offense.
Yeah, so it's a part of what we're doing. And certainly, it allows us to stress the defense horizontally. All you're trying to do is create a moment of indecision for the defense, and then that helps the run game, that helps the pass game. Switching their responsibilities to create free access releases at the line, that's a big part of it. And you've seen a lot of teams doing it at a high level. And, I lived it firsthand being in Seattle. LA kind of really utilized that from the time Sean had been in LA. So it's something that's been around for a while. And I think that the rest of the league, we're learning how to utilize it. So that's something that's part of what we're doing.
How tough is it to scheme things up for Mike when defenses, not even this season, for years have been double teaming him, but he still needs to get the ball?
Yeah, I mean, that's, I think if you look at what we've been doing, we put him at the single spot, we put him in number 3, put him at number 2, we motion him, So just putting him in different places, just going to make it a little bit harder for them to communicate that. And then the beauty of it is, as teams draw attention to him, it should open up other things in the pass game.
Coach Canales,
Yeah.
several players said that one of the areas for improvement is just they need to execute.
Mm-hmm.
How do you coach that and set them up for success to be able to do that?
Well, so yesterday, just kind of share a moment for all of you because you weren't out at practice, but the seriousness that the guys came out with yesterday together in the huddle at a couple times in the practice, I'm watching them talk. They're talking. They're taking ownership of this thing. And like my highest vision for our offense, my highest view of us long term is a group that can work those things out together in the huddle. And I mean, it was kind of like, gave me chills a couple of times where I really just feel like I'm this guy back there just reading off a paper, because Baker's talking to the wideouts and the linemen are talking together and communicating with the tight end. And yesterday was such a fantastic example of that, of what we're looking for, is Hainsey and those guys just really taking ownership for this offense. It's theirs. We give them a plan that they're excited about. Hopefully we give them plays they love. And then from there, they got to take ownership and really drive it and be out there on Sunday where it's them playing. They're not an extension of me. They're not an extension of their coaches. This is their team. This is their offense and their defense and their special team. And I believe we're heading in that direction. And it was really cool to see the last 2 days just kind of how serious the guys have been in the huddle and in the locker room as well, just kind of talking with each other.
Is that along the lines of what Baker had said after the game on Sunday, that he felt like the offense needed to get pissed off in order to get more results?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's kind of what he's alluding to. I don't know, pissed off, but definitely just locking in and taking that accountability and that ownership that this is ours and it belongs to us. So I love where we're at and where we're headed with that, with the group.
What does that say about the leadership of this group, just holding everyone accountable?
Yeah, it's fantastic. And that's the cool part, too, is we have some good veteran leadership on our offensive side. And now it's kind of like, guys, we're giving you permission to lead. We're showing you hopefully an example of how to lead in a positive manner with each other, and really they're doing it, so I can see that happening for us.
I know you want to run the ball. Everybody wants to
Yes.
run the ball, and it sets up play action and all that. But you talk about third down. Well, third down's tough if it's 3rd and 8, 3rd
Right.
and 7. So
Yeah.
can you do it a different way? Are you able to just make yards, until that running aspect comes around and help them out that way early in the series?
Yeah, I think so. Just having that balance, and I think if you look at this past game, we didn't have a lot of snaps because we were not good on 3rd down, But if you look at just the normal 1st and 2nd down, we were 55% run. With that comes RPOs. With that comes end arounds and different things we'll try to incorporate to make yards while we're building this system. And so hopefully we can continue to do that and give us, quick answers, keep the defense off balance, and then be able to continue to sprinkle in those core runs so we actually get those live reps that you're talking about. And but again, I think it all comes back to 3rd down execution and 2 completions on 3rd down. We always talk about the more we complete doesn't mean you always convert those, but you got a chance. So just finding those completions will help us get more.
You have to get to 3rd down either.
Oh, yeah. Those are the best games, right? Best games, you come out and like, holy smokes, we only had 8 3rd downs today. You're hitting those big shots down the field. You're hitting your play actions. And because 3rd down is hard. It's the hardest thing we face. It's different fronts, different coverages. They're disguising things. Teams play us differently. I won't get into all that, but we just have to be aware of all those things. It does get more difficult, when you get into 3rd down situations.
Well, a lot of coaches, when they can't get the ground game going with, they often, that's when they rely more on the screen game, the short passing game and things like that. But I know you had like two passes batted down at the line of scrimmage against the Lions, and obviously, quarterback's height is what it is, and so you got to move them around and stuff. And just how can you kind of combat that when they're starting to take away the screen game and now suddenly it's you're forced to drop back and air it out.
Yeah, I don't want to get too much into the scheme, right? But I think that you're asking the right questions, and so that's for us trying to figure out again how to supplement the run game as we continue to build it.
Baker's been so good, especially on 3rd down, but good this year, right?
Yeah.
That was his worst game. He missed some opportunities. How has he responded to that?
That's what you got to love about the guy, is he attacks it the right way, and it wasn't that he was relaxed the week before either. It wasn't that he just kind of like took a week off and we showed up. We came off a bye. We're a new offense together. This is a new system. And usually you come off a bye, one of 2 things happens. You're fresh and you really get after the defense, or it feels a little bit rusty and you're just a little bit off, and that's what it felt like. All that being said, results, right? We lost the game. He handled it the right way and just really is leading, as a captain on this team, really leading to say, guys, our standard is here. we're pressing towards this standard, and so his demeanor this week has been fantastic, and that's one of the reasons I love the guy. I love having him in there, his experience, he's fiery, and even just going to that last drive, like there was no quit, and he was standing in there trying to make tough throws all the way to the end to see what we could make happen out of it.
Let's take that, Baker. Is he at the point in this offense, obviously you know this offense better than he does. He's got 6 years playing quarterback in this league, so what type of feedback is he giving you on the sidelines, and is he to the point where he knows this playbook enough where he can make some suggestions? Is he there yet?
Oh yeah. So he's doing a great job with Kyle and with John Wolford, where they have their own little pod, they have their own little group, and they're studying first and second down, they're studying third down, and they're shooting us thoughts and ideas. And that's one of the things I shared with you before is, when they come up with something that we have something similar, I always default on their build because they can see it and imagine it. And he's been fantastic that way. He's got great command of the calls. He's got great command of the answers from game one. He got us to quick answers versus these exotic looks that led to some success. So I really feel great about his command. I'm always asking him, hey, be honest with me. How do you feel about this play? Do you love it? Do you like it? Or you don't really feel comfortable? And there's been some of each, but he's been really honest with me about those things.
Dave, what have you seen from Trey Palmer? He got opportunities earlier in the season in the red zone, now going deep. What have you seen from him and his growth?
Oh, man. Yeah, I know. It was a beautiful – we just missed him on the big shot down the field there. It was a perfectly executed route. Did it exactly how we coached him to. We had a man-to-man, another opportunity we missed him on. He just smokes the guy off the line. So here's a guy where, as Mike goes down the field and we're going to take these shots and Trey comes in, he really still gives us that spark and that one-on-one opportunity you're looking for. So I couldn't be more excited about him, about DT's role, and, Rock Jarrett, again, just trying to get Rock going because he can really help us in the offense with the ball in his hands. He's got some special stuff as a ball carrier. Good? All right, thank you all. See you.